And good morning, everybody. Silas back again today. Today is Labor Day. I should not be working, but what am I doing? I'm working. I'm not working at the junkyard though. I'm working out at my place. I finally have a day off of work where I don't have anything else going on, so I thought, I've got some stuff out here I really need to get done. Well, I have a lot of stuff I really need to get done that I'll never get done. But this here is kind of important. It's starting to look pretty dumpy up here. I'll kind of explain what my goal is for today. As you guys know, the people that lived in this house moved out. And they moved out, they took everything out of the house, so that's all fine and dandy. But there's some stuff on the outside on the porch, and some stuff laying out here in the yard, and there's stuff laying all over the place, and it kind of looks dumpy and trashy. And then also this backyard is completely overgrown now. There's some stuff laying around back there as well. I have the septic tank where I dug it up. It's all exposed. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you'll have to go back and watch the video about where I bought a house that is from 1900 or 122 years old. But anyway, I just really want to get this cleaned up. I don't know how much I'm going to get done today. I'm going to try to get as much done as I can, but like I say, I don't know how far I'm going to make it. But what I would really for sure like to do is all the stuff up here on the front of the house, all the stuff on the front porch, all the stuff that's laying out here in the yard. I'd like to get all that gone, and once that's done, I'd like to come back here and this big pile of bricks and concrete and whatnot. Since the landfill charges to take that stuff now, I've got a gigantic hole right over there that already has concrete walls, so it's not like I can dig in that area anyway. And I'm just going to take all the concrete and stuff and dump it in the septic tank and then cover it up with dirt. And then I've got a bunch of other big holes around here in the backyard where I dug up the sewer line trying to fix it back when they still lived here and wasn't able to do so, unfortunately. But I'm going to fill all that back in, and then I got to move all these concrete blocks here. And then I'd like to go ahead and go over here and take this fence down and try to take out all of this chicken coop and stuff that's over here. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do with the house. I keep going back and forth between tearing it down and just fixing the spot on the roof and letting it sit. I just can't decide what I want to do, but I do know what I want to do with this yard here. Once I get all cleaned out and leveled, everything done back here where this wire fence is, I want to go ahead and put a privacy fence back up, and then I want to come in here and I can use it, put a gate right here, and I can use this area for vehicles that I know will sell fairly quickly. Stuff like this Cadillac that's already sold, I could park it in there, and I can make a whole row of cars all around the back side that I can get in there and get them without putting them out back. Because once I put them out back, like I have a car over there back in the trees now. The guy gave me a down payment like 6 months ago, and then he came out a few weeks ago, paid me the rest of the money, and says, "Can I get my car?" Well, now it's buried because it was so long ago that he gave me that down payment. So to avoid that sort of situation, I would really like to have all the stuff that's sold or pending sales put up in here. There we go. I think that's most of the trash. There's a bunch of stuff here still. There's this shelf here, but I might be able to use that. Put some actual heavy wood on there instead of that particle paneling or whatever that is. Take that off there, put something else on there, and I can actually mount that inside of one of my box trucks and use it for shelves. And then the rest of this is all scrap that can actually go in cars. This all metal stuff here, metal chairs. There's a bunch of stuff down here on the ground. Most of this is metal. There's a little bit of trash down here, so I'll go ahead and pick that up next. Now I'm going to go grab a truck bed from out back, an empty one, bring it up here, and I'll throw all this scrap metal in it. That way I can take it up back and throw it in the dumpster. Unfortunately, all of my truck beds are either full of stuff already or I can't get to them. So I thought, it'd be just a lot quicker and easier if I just dig out the bucket real quick and use it instead. So I'm going to throw everything in there. I'm going to go ahead and drive the excavator in here now. Try to scoop up most of that pile of concrete there and carry it over and dump it in the pit. So for about the last year or so, this house, the water bill in this place has been running me about 100 to 140 bucks a month. And I thought it's just because there was people living here. Now, when I first bought the property, it was only 80 bucks a month, and all of a sudden it went up. In the winter I bought it, there was a severe freeze, like negative 30 degrees for a week or two. And so the toilet froze and broke in that building over there, and it always leaked after we fixed it. We replaced it and put some new lines in, but one of the lines still leaked. So I thought that was the cost. I got it fixed, but my water bill never went down. So I thought, well, maybe it's just because the people in the house are using more than normal. Well, they've been gone for 3 months, and my bill is still 120, 140, 130 bucks a month. And I couldn't figure it out. Well, out there in the septic tank, there's water running out of the pipe right now. So that means there's a water leak in this house somewhere to where water is still running out the septic. Now, I can't figure out what's on. So what I'm going to do is here's where the water line comes in, is right here, and it loops up and around the house. At some point in time, I'm going to dig up the water line and just disconnect it completely. That way we can just run water straight to the shop. But for now, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to shut the water off where it comes to this house. There we go. That should solve my high dollar water bill. Now it should drop back down to about 40 bucks a month or less. There we go. I guess I kind of messed up a little bit, which is not that big of a deal. I can go out back and get some sand, but it's kind of a low spot still. I threw a ton of concrete and brick and stuff into that hole, and I thought it was going to be over full. I thought I was going to have a mound of dirt here when I was done, but not even close. So that septic must have been deeper than I thought it was, or else it was muddy or something, packed the concrete down into the mud underground or something. I don't know exactly what happened, but I got a little bit of a hole here, but it's not bad. I mean, this is probably the worst spot right here. It's probably about a foot deep right there in the center of that hole. But then the rest of this is probably just a few inches low. Like I said, not a real big deal. I'll go out back and get a bucket load of sand and bring in here and fill this area in. Now that I got that hole filled in, I'm going to go ahead, probably later today when I have help, so I probably won't film this. I'm going to take this tin and put it back on the fence. That way this is all covered back up again. I got this area pretty well filled in. I kind of tore it up again now, driving the excavator across the top of it. Since it's all loose dirt, that thing there wreaks havoc on loose dirt. But I got a little bit more area over here I got to fill in. Got a hole right here. Fill that in, and then I got a little bit all the way up towards the water right there. So I'm going to get all this done. There we go. Got the fence ripped out of here, got it out of the way. Got all this leveled out pretty good. It'll be hard for me to get it perfect. I know you guys probably laugh at me and my skills in this thing here. I'm not very good at running this thing here. I've got countless thousands of hours running the loaders and skid steers and stuff like that, but this year I might have 100 hours, if that. I really don't even have that many behind the controls of this, so I'm not very good at it. But I'm not too worried. I'm not going to be driving through here, so I don't need it to be perfect anyway. I just want it knocked down enough to where I can get a brush hog in here and keep this mowed down next year. I've still got quite a bit of stuff laying around, but like I said, they're bringing me a dumpster sometime later in the week. And I'll probably just set it right over there in that area there and come in here, and I should be able to knock the rest of this out pretty quickly, plus what's in the front yard. And there's a couple trees I want to take out and some bushes, so I think I'm going to go ahead and close this video out here and save all these videos. Then whenever I do get a dumpster in here, I'll start it back up and I'll record finishing the project here. I want to make this all one video. I don't want to start and stop and start and stop. I mean, obviously I have to start and stop, but on the video, I want it just to continue and flow through. So I'll save this, and whenever I get a dumpster and I have time to come back out here and do this again, I'll continue this. So I won't be back out here for a few days, maybe a week, but I will see you guys in just a few seconds. And I am back on the house cleanup. It's actually Monday now. I planned on coming out here last Saturday like I had mentioned before, but unfortunately it was really cold. I had the kids with me. My wife was at a baby shower, and the kids wanted to stay home and play board games. We went out to eat together and did some fun stuff together, so I spent time with the kids. I was going to bring them out here, but like I said, it was really cold, and then it started raining, so I was like, you know what? They would like it out here, but they'd like it better at home. So we just stayed home on Saturday. But he needs his dumpster back, so I've got to get it filled. It's sitting over here, so I'm going to get out the equipment and start loading the dumpster. I've got a new mount. Now, this may be in a previous video. I'm not sure what order these videos are going to come out that I've recorded here over the last few days, but I've got a really cool magnetic mount for my GoPro now, so I can actually attach this to the front of the excavator or the loader or the skid steer, whatever I'm doing. That way you can get a little bit more of an up-close and personal view of what's going on. I've been using this over the last day or two, and it is really, really cool. I started cleaning this thing out, but it's just clear full of tiny stuff on the ground now. And there's a few old cars and stuff like that here I want to kind of look through when I have a little bit more time. Probably a lot of it's going to go in the trash, but there might be a few cool pieces there. But the rest of that I want to wait till I have a scoop shovel, and then I can scoop it out. What I'll do is I'll just set the small trash can right here by the back of it. I can shovel it right out into that. So we'll worry about that another day. I got to get the excavator and put it back real quick. But I had just a little bit of room left in the dumpster. I had everything else gone. I got everything out of this backyard. I know I'm not very good with the excavator. You guys can laugh at me all you want. I have not driven that very much, like I said earlier. So the only way you learn is to get in there and do it. So I kind of learned what works and what doesn't work with that concrete. I got most of it, and finally I just said, you know what, there's a little bit left. I'm just going to dig a hole and bury it. So I just dug a trench, scooted it over into the trench, and covered it back up. So it's gone. And then back here I started throwing this in the truck bed, and then I got to thinking, you know what, a lot of this is good burnable firewood I can use out back when I get the cabin going here in another few weeks. So I just went through this and I pulled out all of the 2x4s that had nails and the treated wood and stuff like that that I don't really want to burn and inhale. So I got all that out of here. The rest of this I can burn. I don't remember if I mentioned earlier or not, but these chicken coops, all of these back here, Skylar's, I think he said his cousin wants all of those. So we're not going to demolish those. I was going to rip off the part that's attached to this little building over here and shove it in this dumpster, but he wants that. He wants everything. So I said if he comes and hauls it all off, I'll help load it. So he's supposed to be here sometime either later this week or next week. So once again, we'll worry about that another day. There's a little bit of scrap laying around in here yet. We'll gather that up. We'll fill that trench in, and we'll do all that once these chicken coops are gone. And I'll go through here with the excavator and pluck all these T-posts out. But I got the majority of it done. I got all the holes filled in. I got most of the concrete and wood and trash picked up. So it just looks a lot better now than it did. And with that little bit of room I had left, I had a big chunk of an RV out back that had been laying around for a while. So I went and grabbed it and smashed it up and shoved it in there. So that pretty much filled the dumpster full. I could get a little bit more in there if I wanted to, but I'm done for the night, so I'm gonna call it quits. Kind of shame on the house. It's been advertised now for about 2.5 months. At the time I'm recording this, by the time you guys see this, it'll probably be about 3 months that it's been advertised. And I would give it away if somebody would move it, but unfortunately there's just really nowhere to move it. You can't go west because there's an overpass that direction, and you can't go east because that's town, and the town doesn't want it in town, and it would cost a fortune to take all the power lines and everything else down anyway. So it can't go that direction. Obviously it can't go south because there's no way to go south, and so it has to go north. The problem is this little stretch right through here is pretty well already all developed. There's a little bit of land right here a guy could move it to if he really wanted to, but that land's not for sale. So a guy would have to take it clear out north or out northwest a little ways. The problem with that is that's all floodplain, so nobody's building houses out there or putting houses out there. So I started advertising stuff. I tried contacting salvagers, see if anybody wants to come in and save all the hardwood and stuff like that, and nobody's interested. I can't seem to sell anything. Sold the water heater, the air conditioner, and the furnace out of it, and that's about it. So not looking good for the old house. Give it one more month, and if I haven't sold anything, or if nobody's interested in the house, then at that point in time, then I mean, after that much time, surely if somebody really is interested, somebody will come through. And if nobody's interested, then nobody will come through, and we'll tear it down then. But I'm gonna put the excavator up. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. It's just something a little bit different. I like to take a break from doing the same old thing all the time. Stay tuned. I'm not sure what I'll be doing next. Like I said, I've got a lot going on right now, and I've been recording little bits and pieces of different videos, and I'll kind of put them all together and see what I can come up with. So who knows what my next video is going to be. And as always, I hope you have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day. And remember to get out there and find an adventure, even if it's just tearing down a house. Well, we'll see you next time.